read to understand or comprehend a text. A good way to comprehend or understand what we have just read is to summarize it. A summary is just a brief explanation of the most important part of a text. Today we're going to learn a summarizing strategy called Somebody Wanted, but So Then, all right? So the somebody is who was the main character or person. The wanted is what did the character or person want. But is what was the problem. So is how did the person try to solve the problem. And then is how did the story end. So while I'm reading, I'm going to highlight the answers to these questions. I'm going to highlight who was the main person or character in orange. I'm going to highlight what they wanted in green. I'm going to highlight what was the problem in yellow. And I'm going to highlight how did they solve the problem in blue. And I'm going to highlight, and then we're going to highlight together, or you're going to highlight independently, how did they solve, how did the story end in pink, okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to read the first two paragraphs. And then after I read it, I'm going to discuss the answers to these questions. And after I read the first two paragraphs, we're going to read the first two paragraphs together, and then we're going to highlight the answer to these questions in the different colors. And then for your independent practice, you're going to read the last paragraph on your own and highlight the answers to that, all right? So, just listen to me. It says, Rosa Parks. America used to have many laws that kept black people separated from white people. Black people went to separate schools, used separate water fountains, and had to sit in the back of city buses. One day, a black woman named Rosa Parks was riding the bus. The bus got crowded, and the driver told her to get out of her seat and let a white person sit there. Rosa did not think this was fair. She was tired, and she did not want to stand. She decided that she was not going to move to the back of the bus. The bus driver called the police, and Rosa went to jail. Okay, so let me go discuss these questions. So who was the main person or character? I know that the main person or character was Rosa Parks, so we're going to highlight that later on. What did she want? I know she didn't want to move. What was the problem? The bus driver was forcing her to move. How did she solve the problem? She decided not to move. And then, how did the story end? That's going to be the last paragraph, but we haven't read that yet, okay? So put your hands down. Now we're going to read the first two paragraphs together, okay? We're going to start here. Everybody's ready? Everybody know what the first word is? America. America. So you can look up here on my board to read, or you can look on your own paper. It's up to you. We're not messing with the bags right now. We're just reading, all right? So when I count to three, we're going to start reading, all right? 1, 2, 3. America used to have many laws. Wait a minute, we gotta read out loud, okay? Everybody's ready? 1, 2, 3. America used to have many laws that kept black people separated from white people. White people went to separate schools, used separate water fountains, and had to sit in the back of city buses. One day, a black woman named Rosa Parks was riding the bus. The bus got crowded, and the driver told her to get out of her seat and let a white person sit there. Rosa did not think this was fair. She was tired, and she did not want to stand. She decided that she was not going to move to the back of the bus. The bus driver called the police, and Rosa went to jail. So now this is the part where you're going to help me highlight the answers to these questions, and whatever I do on my board, on my screen, you need to do. So raise your hand if you know the answer. Who was the main character or person in this story? Raise your hand. Natalie? Rosa Parks. So I'm going to take out what color highlighter? Orange. And I'm going to highlight her name, Rosa Parks. Okay? So whatever I do, you do, and I give you time to do it. Good job. Once you're done, just put your head down if I can know you're finished. Now, we can move on. Try it. question. What did she want? The wanted part, what did the person want? Raise your hand if you think you know. What did she want? Tatum?
She did not want to move to the back of the bus.
Very good. She did not want to move to the back of the bus. What would I highlight that sentence in?
Green.
Green. So take out your green highlighter and you highlight that sentence in green. She was tired and she did not want to stay. All right? It's right here.
Oh.
Once you're done highlighting, put your head down. So I can just make sure that you're done. Okay, so, but, now we're on the but part of somebody wanted, but what was the problem? Raise your hand. What was the problem? Tatum, have you gone yet?
Yes.
Yes? Daenerys, have you gone yet?
Well, we don't remember.
On the real one. So you answer, what was the problem?
The problem was they wasn't making enough money.
Not yet. Anybody want to try again, Daenerys? What was Rosa Parks' problem? What was her problem? Not the bus driver's problem. What was her problem? That's what she didn't want to stay, but what's the problem? Yes?
They separated from they separated from that people.
Remember, we're in the second paragraph.
Oh, in the second.
We did some. So what was Rosa Parks' problem?
Rosa Parks decided she didn't want to listen to the bus driver.
Okay, Ronnie?
She was not going to listen to the bus driver, and she decided to stay in the seat because she was planning to be
So the problem was somebody was forcing her to stand, right?
Yes.
So who was trying to force her?
The bus driver.
The bus driver. So this sentence right here talk about the driver. So I'm going to highlight that sentence, okay? So I'm going to highlight that sentence in yellow. It says the bus got crowded and the driver told her to get out of her seat and let a white person sit there.
Yeah.
So highlight that. Once you're done highlighting, put your head down. One is done. There is done. Natalie. Okay. Okay, so now we can go on to the so part. Somebody wanted but so then. So, how did she try to solve the problem? How did Rosa Parks try to solve this problem? Raise your hand and tell me. What did she decide to do to solve this problem? Natalie? What did she decide to do to solve this problem? You can read it. Decided.
That he was not going to move to the back of the bus.
Very good. The problem was the bus driver was trying to force her to stand and give up her seat. So she decided that she was not going to move to the back of the bus. All right. So we're gonna highlight that part in what? In what color?
Blue.
Highlight that in blue. Okay. So that's what you should do. Highlight this sentence in blue. let Natalie. She decided. Natalie. That's it, baby. You can highlight. She decided that she was not going to move to the back of the bus. Okay, so we're done with this part. Now we're gonna start our independent practice. But before we start that, I'm going to talk about the word in bold. All right, so everybody pay attention. Look up here. The word in bold. We're going to blend it together. So the first letter is a what? Raise your hand and tell me. What letter? Letter. What letter? Raise your hand and I'll call on you. You can tell me, Ronnie. B. So what sound does the letter B make? Raise your hand. Raise your hand and tell me. And I'll call on you to tell me, Tatum.
But.
Okay, so I know the first sound is but. So then I'm gonna go to the other letters in the first part of this word. And I notice right off the bat that it's O and Y. So that's a vowel pair. So what, raise your hand, what sound does O-Y make together? What sound does it make? Natalie? Oi. Very good. So I want to blend these together. But and oi. So everybody has to do it together. Boy. So I know the first part of this word is what? Boy. Okay, so now everybody say it louder. Boy. Very good. So I'm going to go to the second part of this word. It has two syllables in it. First syllable is boy, so it's going to sound out and blend together the second part. So I already coded this, so I know that the vowel in this part, the second part, is a short vowel. It's a short O. So when I have a short vowel and I have a C in front of it, I know it makes a hard C sound. So what sound, everybody, you can tell me, what sound does hard C make? What sound does it make? Cuh. It makes a cuh. But what do I add to it, Denarius? I put a K back. That's what I did. I put a K back on it. So I'm going to blend cuh and ah. So what does that make together? Caw. All right. So here I see what do I notice here?
You got a T.
I got a double consonant. I got a double T. So what do I need to do?
You need to cross out the last letter.
Yes. You agree, girls? I want to cross out the last letter. So I only say one sound. I don't say, do I say ta-ta?
No.
I just say ta. Okay, so let's blend this together. Cuh, ah, ta. Let's do it. Caught. So the first part of the word is what?
Boy.
And the last part is what? Caught. Okay. So the word is boycott. And everybody say it?
Boycott.
So raise your hand. And let's see, does anyone know what boycott means? Raise your hand. You think you remember what it means, Tatum?
It's where somebody doesn't want to buy more, and what they have, so they don't want to buy more Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm. Yes, like people refusing to buy a product or a service, and they're refusing to buy a product or a service because they want to make a change, okay? All right, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to read this paragraph, the last paragraph, okay? You're going to start with me. Everybody know? Put your finger on where you want to start reading. Everybody, if I can make sure everybody knows. Very good. Natalie has it. Or your highlighter, that's fine, okay? So this is what you're going to do. You're going to read to yourselves, not out loud, to yourselves. You're going to highlight in what color? Pink. Pink. You're going to highlight how did the story end, all right? You're going to highlight the sentence or sentences of how the story end. Now, you might end up highlighting more than one sentence. Is that okay?
Yes.
That's fine, okay? So you're going to, I'll give you, I would say 5 minutes. It shouldn't take you that long to highlight in pink how the story ends, all right? And once you're done highlighting, just put your head down so I can know that you're finished. We can start now. Raise your hand if you need more time. Tatum, you good? Okay. So let's see if we can answer this question. And I'm gonna read this out loud. Like, wait, who wants to read this? The first sentence in this paragraph. Denarius, read the first sentence. Just read it, baby, right here. Many.
Many black people thought that Rosa was brave.
Very good. He just read. Many black people thought that Rosa was brave. Who wants to read the next sentence?
Me.
Natalie. Okay.
Right here. They decided to boycott.
Remember what's this word?
Boycott.
Boycott. Very good. They decided to boycott the buses. Who wants to read the next sentence? Tatum.
They would not ride the buses anymore until the unfair law was changed.
Very good. Ronnie, read the next one.
This was very bad for the bus
Company. So, who wants to read the next sentence? It's a long sentence. Tatum.
They weren't making enough money.
Keep going, Tatum.
1 year later, the law changed.
Sound it out. CH made the what sound?
Changed. Now black people could sit in any empty seat in the bus.
Very good. She just read, this was very bad for the bus company. They weren't making enough money. 1 year later, the law was changed. Now black people could sit in any empty seat on the bus. So, raise your hand and tell me, how did the story end? What is one way that the story ended? Denarius, I like what you highlighted. Tell me one way that the story ended. Read one of your sentences.
They were making enough money. 1 year later.
You were right. Very good, Denarius. They were not making enough money. So who is they?
Rosa Parks.
Not Rosa Parks. Who is they?
The bus driver.
Not the bus driver.
The police.
Not the police.
The bus company.
The bus company. The bus company wasn't making enough money. So that's one way the story ended. So what's another way the story ended? Tatum?
The law was changed and now black people could sit in any empty seat on the bus.
Very good. That's another way that the story ended. The law was changed and black people could sit on any empty seat on the bus. Another way that the story ended. Now you look at the first part of the paragraph. What happened? But how did the story end? Like, who made it end? Who started to make a change? What they saw what Rosa did? Ronnie? Who started to wanted to change everything because of Rosa's bravery? Read the first sentence.
Many black people
Thought.
that Rosa was brave.
Very good. So what did they decide to do?
They decided to boycott the bus.
Very good. They decided to boycott the buses. So I believe that's everything of how the story ended. So we're gonna remember whatever I do on my board. You do on your paper. If you don't have this highlighted, then you need to do it. I highlighted black people decided to boycott the buses. That's one thing that they did. We discussed that already. What else happened at the end of the story? The bus company weren't making enough money. There's answered that question. And so when the bus company wasn't making enough money, what happened then? The laws were changed, right? And black people could sit in any empty seat on the bus. Okay? Everybody has that? Very good. So that's how the story ended. So now everybody put your highlighters, put the caps back on your highlighters, and put your highlighters back in the bag. All right, so what we're going to do in our next session, next time we're here, we're going to write, we're going to fill in our graphic organizer, all right? I'm going to pass it out to you. You're going to write in, like who somebody was. You already answered that? Yes. This is gonna be another thing that we'll do in our next session, okay? So good job, everybody.